Yes, another video. Yeah, we went to another store champs and got another top finish, so we ended up with another map, which was great. We was playing the same list. We're playing blue still. We did a few tweaks, which I'll mention here. But to be honest with you, the list I played on the Saturday and this one, I think, are both solid picks. If you wanted one for a store champs, we went to the Geek Retreat in Addlestone, and it was really good. It was good competition as well. In the UK, if you go to a store and there are players from a store in London called Brotherhood Games, I always think that's really good competition because they're lovely people, but also they take their games quite seriously. So you get a good feel and like some good competition as well. Um, yeah, so we brought the same list. We tried tweaking some ratios around, and I'll go into that in a second. I'll just cover a friend as well that was there, Rick, which was lovely to see him. I'd met him a couple of times in Poland and in Lille, and he managed to get into the top eight and narrowly lost out. But he was playing green steel. There's a lot of green steel around. I'm still shocked that people were able to just shift out the money for the deck, but I guess people have adult money and they can spend close to a grand on a deck, which is fine. Yeah, so sort of very standard list that most people are running. Still running the Pegasus in there, I see, which I sort of fell out of favour with, but it is an awkward Quester and another one drop. So you've got 12 one drops, you're never really going to miss turn one. But I would imagine with a green steel, if you get any of these three one drops, the one you want to play the most is Diablo. I mean, even if you don't have the shift, you get the hand knowledge, which is great. But yeah, really nice list, as I say. I think he got four red purples, and then we took a draw in the end. I managed to finish top seeding, which was great. I won four games and then drawed the last one to finish first, which is good because now the stores are enforcing um, whoever tops first gets to pick. So if you're first and you go against eighth, you actually get to pick if you want to go first or second, which I didn't remember happening in the last store champs. Which is good because before it was just like get three wins and then bubble in and then go have a lunch break. It was like just draw the last two and it didn't matter if you were eighth because you die rolled anyway. But now it's given me some incentive to take it a bit more seriously and just play a bit harder. But yeah, it was lovely to see him, and yeah, it's a great list there. So yeah, this was my list. It looks pretty much the same as the last one. I think Gaston is great. I'm never gonna say he's bad. Um, I think the good thing about him is that there's no situation where you don't play him and you don't get value out of him. If he's in your hand, he's always going to give you value. Whereas Ariel, you need her and you need a dime. You need more items than them. You need them to not have a board wipe. You need to not have a Tremaine. You need all these things. Whereas he's just like, hey, I play it. I'm going to draw a card. I'm going to look at the top three. I might even scry two useless cards away. So I think he's really quite useful in this deck. And I'd recommend him to anyone really. And he sort of goes across everything. He's a 4/4, so he can fight on the board. He can sing your whole new worlds and your bigger songs. He dime taps for three, so if you want to set him up on the dime, get that little bit of chip lore away until you want to win with the Tamatoa. That's fine as well. The ratio changes. I believe it is a one Rise of Titans down for another Tamatoa, one Argus down for a Boom. I could be wrong on that, but I believe that's what I did. Um, yeah, the Tamatoa is at this point. I managed to dime tap him for 11 lore at one point. I think it was like 11. It was an insane amount. It was pretty much just game winning. To the point where I think that's such a good play that I dropped the aerial, of course. Bale, she's a decent dime target. Five's great, but I'm just focusing on winning with the Tamatoa, so we went to four. To the point where one game I got a bunch of items in my hand, I just played them out, inked a bit, and then wheeled again because it was like I'm just looking to set up items and find Tamatoas. That's all I really want to do. I didn't realize how powerful we are having eight popsicles, so that's something I think Ruby Sapphire would want because they just want to spam items in Tamatoa, but we actually get more useful items, I'd say. Of course, they still have Fortispheres and they have Shields of Virtues and Ice Blocks and stuff, so they can spam the items down. But I feel like we have eight that replace themselves and they can be used with Harem, and they're just really good. I think just that, and then Toa is just being a massive win condition. Argus is great, pulls through. I didn't realize. Maybe I think sometimes it's why I sit in a kind of bubble of a testing group and players, and I thought Argus is quite known as being this like quite new tech card that Blue Steel is playing. no one really knew about it. No one was really expecting it. Kind of got confused by it, and I loved that because it was like I could use it to its full advantage if you're not prepared for this card that anyone's ever seen before. Yeah, we took a Rise of Titans down because I felt like committing to taking a castle out with Rise of Titans was it felt like the wrong play. It felt like if I didn't get it and I'd committed to removing the castle with Rise of Titans, it was like, oh, this is a really bad position I'm in now because I haven't drawn it. I haven't invested in the board to try and remove the Titan, remove the castle. So what I did is I just went down to one, and I'm like, if I wheel into it, I'm kind of happy because I could just throw it out there and take out a castle. And most players, if they see one Rise of Titans, they seem to assume there's more in your deck, and they play a bit more reserved on their castles because it is. They pay four, we pay three, and we take it out, and because we ramp, we can afford to pay three a little bit more, and they four might even be their turn. Turn might be play it, move to it, or something like that. I've still tried to do the play where I have Rise of Titans in hand. I let the castle sit for a turn, let them get two lore, thinking they'll just move stuff to the castle. And then like uh, that's their ink for their turn, and then I will Rise of Titans it. No one has ever fell for that, and I'm gonna stop trying to do that because it's really dumb. Just gonna deal with the castle as soon as I can, and just be like, yeah, well, you're not gonna get your two lore because no one seems to want to move to it anymore. Um, the best I've seen is like play a rabbit, then move one thing like a Sisu on the board to the castle, but it's like it's just still even then that's not great. Um, I went to Forex Baboom, and that really, really helped today. There was an immense amount of. I feel Baboom helps into green steel, and then sort of semi helps into red purple. So Forex, that was really, really good. I have been a bit relaxed on my ruby matchups. No, sorry, my sapphire matchups. So one let it go, I think is getting me by, but I did have a ruby sapphire, great player, and got two Tamatoas down, and it was basically like I had to just race win rather than um, I could deal with their board, which kind of felt a bit scary to be honest with you. But we managed to top deck. I think it was an item or a porp and it was an item or a tower. It was enough to get me over the line. But yeah, that was actually quite a scary moment. So I think maybe less on the babooms and maybe more on the let it goes as I play again for the next weekends going forward. Um, but yeah, it seems quite heavy on the rooms. There is the top four decks, and then you've got the sort of off-brand decks and the off-meta, the fringes and the sort of home brews and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel like you might want to make a call on the day. Like 4x Baboom really helped into a room when I was only playing into red, purple, and green steel. But if I played into the mirror and ruby sapphire, like it might be like, oh, I actually want to let it goes now, and that maybe even Hades. So yeah, it feels really much like I think I performed quite well, but there was luck with my pairings. I got the pairings that I'd actually teched for, so that was really useful for me. Um, but yeah, going forward, I've got two more and then two more than the next one as well. I'm gonna try and play a no wheel list and see how that comes out. It's been quite good to start with winning all of the prizing that you can win in this event. And now it's just anything is a bonus, so we might try some new things. I think no wheel has some good plays. So yeah, I think that'll be what I go for next. But the four Tamatoas is really the way to go. I still think Mickey is great. At the worst case scenario, I get a body on the board, which is just really, really good. I liked having more characters in my deck. I like having like 31 characters. I've seen like one jump ahead builds go down to about 26 or 28. And I know it's like he's a 1-3, but I still think he's really good for that. Before finish the video, because I feel like I'm rambling on here. Another card to try. I mean, definitely in the no wheel version, it will be. We're trying Tragic Beast again because we need to maximize card draw. But I think even in this build, maybe I could go a 1-1 split on Tragic Beast and Hardhead Beast because it. I mean, I did draw it at the right times, but it felt like two was overkill. And you've got a Rise of Titan, so it's like really you need to get rid of an item. You have two options if I went down to one already. And I just feel like Tragic Beast would add more consistency to the deck, and that's the one thing with Blue Steel I find is the hardest part because it's a deck that defeats itself. I'll admit at this point I don't feel like I go into a room and there's any harsh matchups. Like I'll take any of them, but I had two games the other day where my opening hand was three whole new worlds. And it's just like it's consistency. It's those issues. So trying to maximize it. I'm not saying including a Tragic Beast will um, improve my chances of not getting three holy worlds in my hand. But it's draw. I want more filter cards. I want more scrying cards. So Gaston is good. If I had room for more developing brains, I'd add them in. because being able to take the top two cards and then go, I want the one that's actually useful here, is great rather than having to just draw through them all. Um, because there's a lot of tech options in here. There's a lot of things that just aren't useful in certain matchups. So yeah, it'd be good to just scry through my list. But yeah, I'd still say this is really good. As I said, scrying and consistency I want added, but we just draw so heavy now that it doesn't feel like that's a huge problem. But yeah, the only times I felt like I was struggling or I was going to lose was when I just didn't have that consistency in the deck. So just trying to shape it up really. I think it's good. Yeah, so here's another list. So it's pretty much like a 2 or 3 card difference, but yeah, I'd say take this one as well and you'd have a good chance.